It's 11:47 p.m. Your laptop is still open. 17 tabs, 3 unfinished tasks, 2 unread emails marked urgent, 1 brain that won't shut down. Your bank account is growing. Your life feels like it's shrinking. Let's get honest. There are more rich people than ever before, more millionaires under 40, more side hustles, more online businesses, more freedom lifestyles, and yet, anxiety is rising, burnout is normal, sleep is broken, relationships are fragile. So here's the real question: do you want to be rich, or do you want to be sane? And before you say both, ask yourself something harder. Are you building wealth, or are you slowly trading your identity for income? The world is exhausted. Across the US and Europe, something shifted. People are tired, not physically tired, existentially tired. Burnout is no longer a private weakness. It's a public epidemic. Millions quit their jobs in waves that shocked corporations. Not because they're lazy, but because they're drained. Drained from working jobs that pay well but feel empty. Drained from productivity culture that turns humans into output machines. Drained from chasing a finish line that keeps moving. The internet promised freedom. Instead, it created comparison at scale. You open your phone and see a 23-year-old who retired from crypto, a productivity guru waking up at AM, a founder scaling to 7 figures without excuses, a millionaire saying sleep is for the weak. You start to feel behind, even if you're doing fine, especially if you're doing fine, because now fine feels like failure. Hustle culture is a beautiful trap. Hustle culture doesn't look toxic at first. It looks disciplined, focused, driven. Wake up early, optimize your morning, monetize your skills, invest aggressively, build multiple income streams, outwork everyone. On paper, impressive. In reality, many people are one bad month away from mental collapse. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Hustle culture quietly teaches you that your value equals your productivity. No output, no worth, no growth this month, you're falling behind. Rest feels guilty. Silence feels lazy. Stillness feels like death. But you're not a machine. You are not designed for infinite output, and the algorithm doesn't care about your nervous system. Ambition versus greed. Ambition is healthy. Greed is hollow. Ambition says, I want to grow. Greed says, it's never enough. Ambition has direction. Greed has a hole. An ambitious person can win and still sleep peacefully. A greedy person wins and immediately feels threatened. Ambition builds. Greed consumes. In business, this distinction is everything. Companies start with vision. They often end with quarterly obsession. Creators start with passion. They often end chasing engagement metrics. Entrepreneurs start solving problems. They often end protecting ego. Money amplifies what's already inside you. If you're grounded, money expands your impact. If you're insecure, money expands your fear. Selling skills is smart. Selling your integrity is expensive. We live in the monetization era. Everything can be sold. Knowledge, lifestyle, spirituality, confidence, even vulnerability. The question isn't, can it make money? The question is, should it? You see fake experts renting luxury cars for content. You see influencers selling dreams funded by debt. You see courses built on recycled advice. You see businesses exploiting insecurity. Cash flows, trust erodes, and trust is harder to rebuild than revenue. In the long run, integrity compounds. Deception compounds too, just in the opposite direction. You can scale income fast. You cannot scale reputation recovery as easily. The internet doesn't forget. Why are so many wealthy people still empty? Because money solves financial stress. It doesn't automatically solve identity. If your self-worth is built on numbers, then every fluctuation feels like a threat. If your identity is tied to status, then you are always one comparison away from insecurity. Money magnifies who you are. It does not create peace. Peace is built internally. Wealth is built externally. If you reverse the order, you build a fragile empire. Toxic productivity when rest feels illegal. This is the silent killer. You're relaxing, but your brain is calculating. You're on vacation but checking analytics. You're at dinner but answering messages. You're free but never unplugged. That's not ambition. That's anxiety disguised as discipline. Productivity is powerful, but when life becomes a performance of output, you stop experiencing it. Not everything valuable is measurable. You can't quantify meaning, presence, connection, inner stability, but you can lose all of them chasing numbers. So how do you build wealth without losing yourself? Let's get practical. This is not anti-money. This is anti-self-destruction. 1. Build skill before persona. Don't build a brand first. Build competence first. Skills survive trends. Personas collapse when exposed. If you have real value, you don't need constant hype. 2. Play the long game. Fast money often brings fast pressure. Build something that can survive 10 to 20 years. Ask yourself, if the algorithm disappears tomorrow, would my value still matter? If not, your foundation is unstable. 3. Separate identity from income. You are not your monthly revenue. When income dips, your worth does not. When income spikes, your humanity does not increase. Detaching identity from earnings is psychological protection. 4. Define enough. This is revolutionary. What number makes you secure? Not greedy, secure. If you never define enough, you will always chase more, and more has no ceiling. 5. Build systems, not self-exhaustion. If your money stops when you stop working, you built a job, not freedom. Systems create sustainability, scalable digital assets. Investments, teams, automation, intellectual property. Freedom is not working non-stop. Freedom is having leverage. The global shift, people want balance. The market is changing. Consumers are more skeptical. Audiences crave authenticity. Employees demand flexibility. Creators burn out faster. The new currency is trust. The new luxury is peace. The new success is sustainability. People don't admire burnout anymore. They question it, and that's your opportunity. Authenticity is a strategic advantage. In a world full of performance, realness stands out. Not oversharing, not emotional drama, just consistency between what you say and what you do. Authenticity builds loyalty. Performance builds temporary attention. Attention fades. Trust compounds. You don't have to choose between rich and sane. That's the lie. You can build wealth responsibly. You can grow aggressively without losing empathy. You can be ambitious without being destructive. But you need boundaries. You need self-awareness. You need to define success on your terms, not the internet's. If you don't define success, the algorithm will define it for you. And it never sets reasonable goals. Healthy wealth feels light. Healthy money doesn't make you paranoid, doesn't require constant lying, doesn't destroy relationships, doesn't erase your personality. Money should expand your life, not replace it. If every relationship becomes transactional, that's not freedom. That's expensive loneliness. Brutal closing truth. The world doesn't need more rich people. It needs more sane rich people. People with money and perspective, ambition and empathy, strategy and conscience. If you chase money alone, you might get money. If you build value and integrity, money usually follows and stays. Build cash flow, but build character first, because you can always rebuild income. Rebuilding yourself is harder,